All right. So this is kind of a documentation for myself and also just an update if anyone watches this. And also maybe this will be helpful for people going through chronic illness. Maybe you'll run some of these tests I ran on my own and I'll show you how to do it. And maybe they can provide you some answers uh, to your health issues that you've been dealing with because I know how it is. I know when you're going to doctor after doctor, they think some are saying you have anxiety, or some are just like, I don't know what to test you for anymore, man. Everything's like clean, your blood work's clean. Um, or yeah, again, just or like they just don't believe you. Whatever it is, it sucks. I've seen many doctors, many different specialists, and everything came back negative, and I'm like, what the F is going on with me? So mine started off, I had constipation, whatever, no one thinks about it. And then compounding on top of that, because this is all compounding, which is insane. One of these symptoms is I don't really have anymore. All of it is compounding, so it's like on top of everything. Some happen some days, some maybe don't happen, some are constant. So on top of the constipation, then I got all in the same night, insomnia, frequent urination, light sensitivity, depression kind of slowly developed, anxiety kind of slowly developed. Um, but the 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 insomnia, frequent urination, and light sensitivity all happened the same night. I felt like I had to pee really bad one night. My bladder was super full. I ran to the bathroom. I was peeing all night. I kept waking up constantly. Like my brain, just kept waking me up. I couldn't like just sleep. That continued, and then the light sleep turned into, or the frequent awakenings turned into just this light sleep where I felt like I was awake all night. Like I never felt like I was actually like going into a deep sleep where you like feel unconscious. Like you don't even realize you went to sleep, that feeling, and you wake up, you're like, oh, I went to sleep. And like time passed. Never. It always felt like I'm laying there and I'm like part of my brain's awake all night. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, I guess it's the next day. And that's on a good night. So the bad nights are I don't sleep or I wake up frequently, whatever. Anyways, enough about sleep. Who cares? Then I developed low focus memory. I literally remember the day, like, funny enough, I remember the day my memory was like starting to give me problems. I'm like, dude, how can I not like remember this? And then it just continued on, sadly. Joint pain all over, loose stools, floaters in my vision, like looking up at the sky, seeing all those little worm like looking things. You can look up photos of it. Uh, Hard to like focus my eyes, like hard to like read and focus my vision. GI issues, all of it. Bloating, gas, burping, pain. That was the worst one. The bloating sucks pretty bad too. Dysautonomous symptoms, like I would work out or not work out, and but working out would make it worse. My blood pressure would get extremely low. I would like feel like I'm gonna pass out when I stood up. Waking up from like what I imagine is was my blood pressure being too low. I'd like wake up like I can't breathe, and that's like none of it would show up on a sleep apnea test because I think they just measure oxygen. But that I'm guessing, I don't know. And again, this is like all for me too, just documenting one time so I know everything that I struggled with. Assuming I get better one day, I'll know how to explain it. This is the worst phase. This is the worst like add-ons, the worst upgrades I got. Upgrades are usually good. These upgrades are not fun. So crawling in my entire body, this crawling under my skin, I don't know how to describe it. It's this agitation inside me that just makes me like I have to like shake my legs or like I feel like I can't sit still and it's like this feeling inside my body. I don't know what's causing that. Histamine issues. I found out they were histamine. I didn't know they were histamine, but muscle twitches in my legs, itchy, agitation, usually after eating high histamine foods, which I was always looking for food sensitivities, like, but there was not really a correlation. And then once a natural doctor told me to try a low histamine diet, it helped. And also taking Zyrtec, I found out helped. And a Dow enzyme helped. So I'm like, okay, it's histamine. Those symptoms at least, at least. Constant ringing in my ears, major depression. This is not like a sadness. This is like I would literally tell people before I got tested, did this test. I knew it. I knew I had like serotonin because my sleep was fucked, and also I could just tell. I don't know. Like I would describe it as like this emptiness in my brain. Like I'm like something is missing, something is wrong, something is off. Um, and I knew it. Um, so it's good to know that, look, you're not crazy. A lot of us have an intuition about our body. We know something's wrong. Keep chasing it, keep trying to figure it out. Some people are hypochondriacs, yes. Some people have anxiety, yes. Now, are there real people who have chronic health issues no one can diagnose and they know that there's something wrong with their body intuitively because I'm in my body. I know what my normal body felt like. I know what I feel like now is not right. Yes, that is a thing. And I have tests to prove it. So, and yeah, just major sleep issues. My sleep turned into literally not sleeping for days. This is like frequent. This is recent too. This is like the last 3 months I had been dealing with this. I don't want to jinx anything. I'm getting better, I think. So, or I am. I felt better the last 3 to 4 days. So we'll see. But okay. So yeah, major sleep issues. Literally not sleeping. So not sleeping for like 4 to 5 days at a time, and just unable to like unable to sleep. I'm not anxious. Did I develop some anxiety after not sleeping for 4 days? Yes. Um, but then I would sleep for like 2 hours randomly and then not sleep again for 4 to 5 days. And that continued for like 3 to 4 weeks, and I was a zombie. Um, I became literally non-functional. I would just be laying there. I would be throwing up because I couldn't eat anything. So nauseous, probably just from not sleeping. Um, I took Ambien and it just made me trip balls. I took Xanax, didn't help. I got prescribed everything. Nothing was helping me. I went to the emergency room the last night because I was just a wreck. I didn't know what to do. I was just desperate. And I was like, please help me. They didn't help me. They're like, yeah, we don't deal with that here. So, um, and then funny enough, I did sleep that night. Uh, I got some sleep, but it was short lived and then I was having trouble again. But anyways, this has been the worst problem because I can't imagine the stress that that has put on my body in itself. Like all of this I could deal with. The major depression's pretty rough. I would say all everything else I can deal with. It's this and it's this. Like it's just oh my God, it's agonizing. And guess what? Major depression, sleep issues, serotonin, baby. Okay, so those are my symptoms. That's for me, that's for you, anyone watching. If you have any of these symptoms and you think there's a correlation, maybe this will help you. So here's the story. Here's the first test I took. Um, I ended up getting no help from any doctors. I was hopeless. I was like, okay, I have to figure this out on my own. And even then, up to that point, I had to figure out what I wanted to get tested for by my doctor, what specialists I want to see. Like, I had to still kind of guide everything. You have to do this for yourself, or else you won't get better, sadly. You have to try to do research online, try to use ChatGPT. It's not the most reliable, but I discovered some of these tests through it. So I was like, okay, let me pick one symptom that I know I have, that I know is an issue, and that was dysautonomia. I knew it. I knew it was. I've researched it. I'm like, I'm having these symptoms, and I can say for certain this is something I'm having. Everything else is so vague, like floaters that could be kind of like anything. Uh, loose stool, that could be anything, dude. Joint pain, I mean, it's like it could be anything. Sleep, anything. Who knows? Just could be stress, anxiety, like dysautonomia. That's not normal, and I knew something was causing it. So I looked up what are the top things that cause dysautonomia, like what triggers someone to have this if I've never had it. And heavy metals, like toxins, was one of the biggest things that popped up. Toxins, heavy metals, and just different toxins. So mycotoxins from mold. So I was like, okay, let me get a heavy metal test and a mycotoxin test. I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, let me rule stuff out. And I also ruled out Lyme disease and all the co-infections. So all that came back negative, which thank God. I didn't want that crap. Um, and okay, so mold came back positive. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Like I actually, something came back off. So citronin's a mycotoxin commonly found in like food, like improperly stored food, and like grains can have it, like red rice or red yeast rice or something. I don't know. In certain foods it's more common, but also water damaged buildings you can get it. So, um, I don't eat all the like top foods that have it. I don't eat them, especially in an amount that would ever cause it to be this high. People will say that these tests are useless. Um, Urine test because you're just seeing what your body's excreting. It could mean that I have nothing inside my body actively, but uh, this test sent me down a rabbit hole that led me to what I think I found some answers. So, okay, so I said, okay, I have high mycotoxins. I'm just gonna go down that path because that's the only thing that popped up. I did live in an apartment where all my symptoms started. They all started in an apartment. All my symptoms started there. So they started in around the same time and early to moving into that apartment. Like the first month, I started feeling some of these. So I'm like, okay. And there was a leak every time it would rain. We would hear dripping, and we even called our um, apartment complex. Was like, hey, we hear like dripping every time it rains. There's like a leak happening. And one day it grew in through our vent, and we had to like wipe it all down. And I didn't think anything of that. Like, I just don't know about mold. I mean, I know it's bad for you, but like, I didn't think it can literally fucking ruin your life. So I didn't really think anything of it. So, anyways, I went down this path. I saw a natural doctor. He put me on some of the common things. Like, he didn't run any tests on me, any additional tests. He put me on binders. He put me on like NAC, things to help you detox. He gave me like a multivitamin. It's a good multivitamin. It's about everything's yeah, whatever. Um, Short story, I saw some improvement. Actually, I saw some improvement. That agitation feeling in my body went away. Like the night I started taking binders, that was a big thing for me. I took activated charcoal that night. That agitation went away. I thought it could have been placebo, but it never came back. Also, this like I would get this weird smell in my armpit. I know it's weird, but this like horrible like toxic smell in my armpit. After like a night, I would feel that agitation feeling. Could just be stress sweat or something, but that went away. And those did not come back. They came back later on once I stopped the binders and stuff and got really bad. But uh, so that was a big hint to me. I'm like, okay, wait, I'm improving. I've seen some symptom relief with binders, even if it's one symptom or two. That's not just coincidence. So I think I'm on the right path. Um, but yeah, so I started getting better, started even exercising and like rock climbing and just feeling more like myself. I was like maybe 40% of the way there. I wanted the rest of it, 60. I came back from a trip and I went downhill so hard. And that's what led me into this phase. All of this. The crawling was, I had it for a while, but these are just the worst. But yeah, symptoms, but all of this. Boom. Horrible. Unbearable. Almost impossible to hold my job, like literally about to quit because I can't take it. I can't function. I'm like slacking. And so I didn't know what to do at this point. Um, I found someone named Evan Brand online, and he was talking about the organic acids test, which I had heard about, didn't know anything about, and the stool tests by Diagnostic Solutions. I took the O test, and this has been the biggest reveal for me. Um, Now, again, this is where doctors will tell you, like, oh, this is a bullshit test. Even natural doctors will be like, oh, you can't really gather any good information from this. Like, blah, blah, blah. You can't really do anything with it. I think it's bullshit. Um, for people who are chronically ill, I think you should take this test. I think that even if it shows any insight to absolutely anything, it's helpful. For me, all of my blood work comes back perfect. I did blood work. This is me like going through my worst phase of my health, about to quit my job. Like my whole life is falling apart. And I go review my blood work with my doctor, and he's like, "Wow, your blood work is like literally perfect. Like everything is perfect." And I made it kind of a joke, and he laughed, but I'm like, "That's crazy because I literally want to die, and I feel like dying." And he's like, "Ah," ha, ha," and I'm like, "Ha ha ha ha." And then I'm like, "No, seriously, I fucking want to die." But yeah, um, take the oat test. I'll show you how to take it and how to get this mycotoxin, how to get any essentially like uh, naturopathic tests done on your own. You can order it yourself. You don't have to go through you don't have to pay a consultation fee to a doctor just to get these. Okay, so I'm not going to go through every marker, everything that's out of the ordinary. Arabinose is high. What's arabinose? That is a gas, I believe, produced by candida. So I have some sort of candida overgrowth, and I'm assuming, again, people tell you these tests don't mean anything, whatever. I'm just assuming this is all right. I know that some of this cannot be right, but I'm not going to say that every time. Um, it just depends on your symptoms, depends on what you're going through. I have high arabinose. This isn't even the high. I've seen people with insane amounts, so I'm like, is this really affecting me at all? I don't know. But that's a big thing that correlates with mold is candida overgrowth. So I was like, okay, I'm happy to see that. I'm happy that kind of explains something. My beneficial bacteria is very low. Not very low, it's low. Um, this is a metabolite produced by beneficial bacteria. These are all metabolites produced by things. So this is low. This is for another, like, I think beneficial bacteria set of bacteria. It's pretty low. It's really low. It's outside of even like the normal range. So I have good gut bacteria. I have high candida. I mean, that in itself isn't good. Now, is it enough to cause all my symptoms? Probably not. But there is a bigger thing that popped up. Not this. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna go over that with my doctor. Um, so remember my depression, my horrible sleep issues? Boom, boom. Low serotonin production. These are all metabolites from. I'm not gonna say that every time. Okay. This indicates I most likely have low serotonin. My body is producing not a lot of serotonin. This is a normal range. This is me. So I'm low, which makes sense. Um, and mycotoxins, candida, all of that affects neurotransmitters. This is this is known stuff. So I don't know what this is. Thiamine. Um, I don't know. I'm just looking at everything that's like really popping out. It's crazy. The next biggest thing I saw, and this is controversial, uh, is low vitamin C, low NAC, and down here I have low glutathione, which is like if you're struggling with mold and you're low in glutathione, you're fucked. You're fucked. that is like one of the primary ways your body gets rid of toxins in your body. So I'm probably just recycling toxins. And yeah, so first of all, low vitamin C is controversial. Some people will say, it degrades, well, it does degrade quickly from what I see in urine, as if it's not stored properly. It can show up as low, and apparently a lot of people can show up as low. I don't know. Mine's significantly low, and um, so this is like 20 times lower than the low it should be within like this range. This is low. It's 20 times lower. Low vitamin C, first of all, will affect your serotonin production and your conversion from serotonin into dopamine, or sorry, into melatonin, which will affect your sleep horribly. It affects a bunch of other stuff. One of the biggest things, it can cause histamine issues if you're low in vitamin C. Um, so vitamin C is, if it's truly this low, it makes sense with a lot of my symptoms. Um, and then NAC, screw NAC. Let's go to glutathione. NAC is part of, um, I'm not a scientist or a biologist, but NAC becomes glutathione essentially, or it takes part in converting into glutathione, something. It affects glutathione. And if you're low in glutathione, a lot of times doctors or naturopaths will give you NAC. So that's what you need to know. Low glutathione, um, again, that's like one of your body's primary sources of like pulling out toxins and then pulling it into your small intestine, and then you get rid of it. And that's why they give you binders. It binds to those toxins in your small intestine, and then you poop them out, and they don't just recirculate. So that's low. And so, okay, all these would be low if I wasn't supplementing and I'm going through, my body's dealing with a toxic load, and I'm having digestive problems. I'm not getting all my nutrients I need. Um, all of this would be low. Like it makes sense. And then a lot of my symptoms, most all of my symptoms can really be attributed to all of these things that popped out. So yeah, um, right now, where do I go from here? I am supplementing with vitamin C. I'm taking a high dose. Um, I'm spacing it throughout the day to try to just like restore my vitamin C. And I've already been sleeping better. I'm trying to eat more protein and get more like building blocks for my serotonin. Uh, I'm ordering amino acids so I can start supplementing with 5-HTP. Um, and 5-HTP turns into serotonin, so you can actually just buy it and you can take it, but be careful because if you don't actually know like what you're struggling with, don't just start taking amino acids because you can kind of throw everything out of whack. But yeah, um, I'm also taking NAC, which will help replenish my glutathione, get my body detoxing properly. I'm also low in vitamin B6, so I'm just taking a vitamin B complex because I don't want to like just take B6 and then throw stuff out of whack. But that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm also seeing Evan Brand, a naturopathic doctor, uh, or a functional medicine practitioner, next month, and he's the one who recommended taking these, and I took it, and I saw some stuff, and he seems knowledgeable, so I'm like, yo, take my money, fix me. But yeah, um, if you want to order any of these tests, uh, go to truehealthlabs.com and you can order literally any test you want. You can see I have some stuff here. You can order anything you want, and uh, you don't need a doctor. It's kind of expensive, but it's going to be more expensive to get a consultation with the doctor just to ask to get a test ordered. So I would just do it. And they're going to charge you extra, the naturopathic doctor. So they're going to charge a little fee for themselves. So yeah, I would take a mycotoxin test if you're chronically ill, take an organic acid test, Take a GI map, which I have coming as well. I got through True Health Labs. Do all of this. People will tell you it's bullshit, but I was like, fuck it. Let me just do it and see if anything comes back. Even if part of it's true and I can get any indication at what's wrong with me and improve my quality of life, it's worth the money. Because the opposite end is you go your entire life not ordering these tests to save money. You keep buying random supplements, um, or you just keep seeing doctors that aren't testing, um, and you just keep wasting money. Your health keeps going downhill. You possibly lose your job. You're losing even more money. Just do tests. Do as many tests as you can if you have the money, because it's worth it. Because I promise you, if you're like me, and I'm sure there's people way worse than me that are incapacitated. But if you're like me and you feel like your life's falling apart, it's worth the money. So that is my long ass update. If anyone finds anything useful, good. I'm happy. And if you don't, I'm sorry. And but yeah, have a good day, anyone possibly watching.